As a heiress of a prestigious family, I pursued Lou for 5 years, but he remained unaffected. It wasn't until the arrival of a second pursuer that things took a turn. Confident and full of herself, she quickly became intimate with Lou. I admitted my failure in pursuing him and prepared to exit with a heavy heart. Little did I know, when I couldn't be found, Lou gradually lost his sanity and did something unexpected. Chapter 1. When Ginny came into this world, I knew that even the system had abandoned me. Standing at Lou's doorstep, separated by the door panel, I could hear their laughter. I squeezed the box of chocolates in my hand and turned away. This was my last chance. I have failed once again. Sometimes, you have to admit that the magnetic field between people is a delicate thing. For example, even though Lou was my target, I accidentally fell in love with him for real. No matter how hard I tried, he refused to take a step towards me. The joyful laughter from behind the door felt like a sharp blade piercing through my heart. Matters of the heart never seem to be fair. Ginny, who had just arrived, received the tender treatment that I had been yearning for over the past 5 years. Chapter 2. I returned home and quietly waited for the system's punishment. But it never came. At midnight, the system finally arrived, panting. "I made a special request for you," it said. "Considering that you have excelled in every aspect of this world except for your pursuit target, and you have even doubled the size of the Jones Corporation, making a significant contribution to this world, there are 2 follow-up options available to you. Option 1 is to switch to a new pursuit target, still with a 5-year time limit. If you succeed in the pursuit, you can return to your original world and regain your healthy body. Option 2 is to cancel the pursuit. You won't be able to return to your original world, but you can stay here and continue living as Mary." I was stunned. Switch pursuit targets? In my original world, I had never been in love. The only clumsy love and genuine feelings I had were given to Lou in this world. 5 years had exhausted all my fantasies about love. And staying here. In the original world, I was frail and sickly, spending my years confined to a sickbed, with no close relatives or friends. Here, even though I came to this world for the pursuit, I had loved ones, friends, and the Jones Corporation that I had built from scratch. Countless sleepless nights, planning, negotiating, and strategizing with my partners in the company, expanding our territory. I genuinely cared for every person and every aspect of this place. Could I bear to leave it all behind? I wiped away the tears welling up in my eyes. I really couldn't bear it. I choose option 2. "Pursuer, have you really thought it through?" the system asked. "Once you choose option 2, you can never return to your original world." I closed my eyes. "Yes, thank you." The system sighed as well. "We don't need to be so polite. You've done your best in these 5 years, and besides, we've been partners for so long. Although I'm just a system, I also have emotions. I've seen your efforts, and it's Lou's loss for not appreciating you. Today is the last day, and tomorrow I will move on to my next task. I wish you every happiness in this world, in every day of your future." Happiness. Lou's face appeared in my mind again. Yes, even the usually cold system felt a sense of sympathy towards me. It shows just how much Lou truly dislikes me. But it doesn't matter anymore. I won't like him anymore in the future. Chapter 3. The next day, I went to work at the company as usual. I opened my phone to handle work-related matters, and Lou's message was still at the top. The last message was the one I sent to him. "Lou, I've learned how to make your favorite hazelnut chocolate. Can I bring it to you this weekend?" There was no reply to the message. It disappeared into thin air. Just like always. In these long 5 years, except for those few rare nights when he showed some emotions, it felt like I was the only one in this one-sided play. The first time was when both of us got drunk at a business gathering. On the way back, I grabbed his sleeve and refused to let go, even spilling on his designer shirt. He surprisingly didn't give me a cold look. Despite being quite drunk himself, he calmly dealt with the stains on both of us, took me home, brushed my teeth and washed my face, and threw me into the bathtub. In my hazy state, I clung to him like a koala. My mind couldn't distinguish whether it was the influence of alcohol or my desire to complete the mission, but all the past grievances rushed to my heart. Amidst tears, I impulsively pulled him into the bathtub as well. When the warmth of his lips touched mine, I thought I was dreaming. His kiss was fierce and impatient, our lips interlocked. That night was passionate and dreamlike. But when I woke up the next day, there was no one beside me. I only saw the Smith family's housekeeper serving breakfast diligently, asking me what I wanted to eat. Another night was when I failed in business. I fell into a trap set by my opponents and suffered huge losses. That night, I sat alone by the river, drinking. Lou's car suddenly stopped by the roadside. He said he happened to pass by. "You're already an excellent manager. There's no need to blame yourself for one failure." That night, he accompanied me by the river and shared his own stories of past failures. In the end, I passed out in his arms and he carried me to the car, taking me home. His embrace was gentle and light, and I trembled lightly in his arms, lifting my head to try to reach his lips. But he avoided it. Later, I learned that he comforted me because he was afraid that my condition would affect an important business negotiation the next day. That negotiation was crucial to the interests of the Smith family. It seemed like it was always the same for these 5 years. Whenever I thought I had tasted the sweetness, I would be drenched with cold water. The cruel reality repeatedly reminded me. Lou doesn't like me, not even a bit. All the past moments were just illusions. Chapter 4. I raised my hand and removed the pinned message. At noon, my assistant Zoe came in and asked me, "President Jones, you haven't given me the lunch for President Smith today." I was taken aback. I didn't make it, no need to deliver it. The Jones and Smith offices were located in the Twin Towers building, close to each other. Knowing that Lou had a sensitive stomach, I volunteered to take on the responsibility of preparing his lunch. No matter how busy or tired I was the night before, I would always make him a good lunch and have my assistant deliver it. "No need to deliver it anymore," I said. "There would be someone else to prepare it for him." Zoe looked puzzled, but still nodded and left. Little did I know, I took a nap until 1 o'clock when the phone suddenly rang. It was Lou's secretary, Lee. "President Jones." He sounded apologetic. "I'm sorry to disturb you, but the lunch hasn't been delivered today, and President Smith is still waiting." I fell silent for a moment. "Lee." "I'm here, President Jones." "Before I started delivering lunch to President Smith, what were the standards for the lunch you ordered for him?" It seems like it was a special meal for 500 yuan." "Then continue ordering it." "And," I said in a low voice, "let President Smith know that I won't be delivering lunch anymore." Chapter 5. I was annoyed at being interrupted during my nap. It's only natural for a person to feel irritable in such situations. But I didn't expect that at 3 o'clock, Zoe would come in again and tell me that Lou had a stomachache. It seems like he ate something too spicy. Lee is worried. "President Smith refuses to go to the hospital," Zoe said. "He mentioned that you once made him some medicinal soup when he had a stomachache." "Google it." "Huh? Let him Google it himself." I raised my head. If he still doesn't know after Googling, then he should go to the hospital. To be fair, I can't blame Lee. In the past, I used to worry about Lou so much that even the slightest discomfort would make me anxious. Over time, he got used to informing me about everything. And at that moment, a call came in from the front desk. "President Jones, there's a lady named Ginny at the front desk looking for you. She says if she mentions the word strategy, you'll understand." I fell silent for a moment. "Let her come up." Chapter 6. Ginny entered my office and looked around curiously. "So, you're the strategist that the system mentioned, the one who couldn't win over Lou." She sat across from me. "Can I call you by your name?" I nodded. "Sure, go ahead. By the way, is it true that you haven't been able to win over Lou for 5 years?" I fell silent for a moment. "Yes." "That's strange. I thought he would be quite easy to handle," she pondered. "He even let me stay overnight at his place last night." I froze. Of course, it was when he was drunk, and nothing happened in the end. She stuck out her tongue. "But he gets drunk so easily, he seems like the type that can be easily swayed." "Ginny," I interrupted her. "Why did you come to see me? What's the matter?" Oh dear, she seems somewhat frustrated. I wanted to ask for your help, actually. It's about Lou. He's not very talkative. It was already past noon and he hadn't eaten anything. I asked him what he wanted to eat, but he wouldn't say anything. He just told me to decide for him based on my preferences. And then he started having stomach pain after eating mala hot pot. I got really scared, afraid that last night's progress would be ruined because of this. I heard from his secretary that you used to prepare his lunches. So, Mary, you must know his preferences. Since you're not pursuing him anymore, can you share your strategies with me? Seeing that I remained silent, she continued pleading. Mary, please, I'm begging you. Can you help me? Actually, I don't have any strategies. I shook my head. Although this is the game mission we're playing, everyone here is a living person. I've always believed that genuine care should be exchanged with genuine care. She looked at me, seemingly confused. But aren't they just targets and NPCs to be conquered? Actually, this world isn't much different from the world we come from, I said softly. No matter who you want to conquer, you still need to make an effort to understand them, rather than relying on so-called strategies. But I don't have time. She suddenly lowered her head, tears falling down. I came to this world for my mother. She's not doing well, and I have to complete the mission within a year to save her. She cried harder. Mary, I really need to finish this mission quickly. Only by completing it can I go back home. Fine. I stood up and took out a small notebook from the bookshelf. Inside this notebook are the recipes I've researched over the past 5 years, as well as the things to take note of when taking care of him during his stomach aches. If it's helpful to you, you can take it. She wiped her tears and took it, but after flipping through a few pages, she couldn't help but exclaim, "Oh my, this is so detailed. There's no strategy more detailed than this. This isn't a strategy, it's genuine care." But this time, I couldn't say it out loud. After all, it's quite absurd to think about it. As a failure myself, what right do I have to say these things? Oh, by the way, Mary, I have one more favor to ask. She clasped her hands together. Even though Lou knows that you're a strategist, please keep it a secret that I'm also a strategist. Please, please. I was stunned. What did you say? What? Does Lou know? Ginny tilted her head. He mentioned it himself when he was drunk last night. He overheard your conversation with the system and knows that you're strategizing him. Chapter 7. Ginny's words did create a ripple in my heart, but it quickly faded away. Knowing or not knowing, what difference does it make? In the end, everything is over. A few days later, I attended a business banquet, and Lou was there too. Ginny, dressed in a high-end gown, intimately linked her arm with his. I glanced at them briefly before turning around to continue smiling and chatting with others. Socializing can be quite exhausting, but sometimes it's necessary. While I was talking with a business partner, he suddenly waved behind me. President Smith, over here. I turned around and saw Lou walking towards me, Ginny not by his side. I was just thinking, I saw President Jones earlier, but didn't see you, the lively business partner said. I've been hearing some rumors lately about you too. Are they true? There have been jokes about me and Lou before, and every time I foolishly hoped he would say something surprising. Quite absurd, really. Lou's expression remained calm. Though he didn't have his usual scowl, he didn't say a word either. Just rumors, not to be believed, I replied with a composed smile. Besides, President Smith brought a beautiful companion today, didn't you see? Oh, really? He glanced playfully between the two of us. I guess I didn't notice. After a few more casual exchanges, I found an excuse to leave and went up to the second-floor balcony. There is a rocking chair here, and whenever I feel tired, I like to sit here and rest. Behind the chair, there's a door that leads to a lounge on the second floor. This door doesn't soundproof, so as soon as I sat down, the familiar voice from inside became clear. System, Mary is really foolish, didn't you interview the candidates before selecting them? Ha ha ha, it can't be just about looks, right? I just shed a few tears in front of her, and she actually believed it. Is it because my acting is too good or because she's too naive? So silly, all beauty but no substance, just an embroidered pillow. No wonder she couldn't win over Lou for 5 years. Unbelievable, to be honest, she's a failure in this world, now nothing more than an NPC in my game, and she even tries to teach me to treat everyone sincerely. Ha ha ha, so funny. So noisy, I said. It suddenly became quiet inside. There was a rustling sound, and the door opened. Ginny stood in front of me, her face pale. Mary. I'll give you some advice, I said calmly. This door doesn't soundproof, and you disturbed my rest. Her expression changed multiple times, finally settling on a look of grievance. I didn't mean to say those things. It doesn't matter. She seemed anxious. Will you tell Lou about me being a candidate just because you're upset? I shook my head. No, I have no interest in getting involved in your affairs. You can rest assured. Just, from now on, please don't appear in front of me and don't come to ask me for any strategies because I don't like you. She bit her lip, still wearing a look of grievance, then turned around and hurried away in her high heels. She's probably going to find Lou. Chapter 8. The balcony finally regained its tranquility. I closed my eyes to rest for a while, and when I opened them, I saw Lou standing in front of me. I didn't know when he arrived. I didn't know how long he had been watching me. You always hide here when you're tired, he said. Do you need something? I stood up, frowning. He fell silent for a moment. Ginny is straightforward and simple-minded. We have a normal superior-subordinate relationship. Don't make things difficult for her just because I brought her here. Oh, so he came to question me. I looked at Lou and suddenly felt somewhat unworthy of my past self. President Smith, you're overthinking, I smiled. Am I causing trouble for your secretary? Is it because you're jealous that she gets to be by your side? He furrowed his brows. Don't say it like that on purpose. Lou, I'm no longer trying to win you over. He froze. What are you saying? At this point, there was no need to hide anything anymore. You've known all along that I came here with a mission to win you over, right? I smiled. That night, isn't that right? After Ginny told me, I thought for a long time. My conversations with the system always took place when no one else was around. Except for that night, our first night together. I woke up in the middle of the night, feeling overwhelmed by the sweetness in my heart. I couldn't fall back asleep. As I looked at Lou, sound asleep, I quietly got out of bed and went to the living room to summon the system. System, am I about to succeed in winning him over? Intimacy doesn't necessarily mean success in winning someone over. He has to fall in love with you too. I recalled his passionate kisses before bedtime, filled with confidence. He will love me. After a few more words with the system, I suddenly heard a faint sound coming from the bedroom. I quickly silenced myself and tiptoed back to the bedroom. Lou was still fast asleep. I felt relieved. I suppose back then, you were actually awake and heard my conversation with the system, right? I smiled. He didn't say a word, which I took as tacit agreement. I'm sorry for bothering you for so long, but rest assured, it won't happen again, I said as I turned to leave. But suddenly, he grabbed my hand. What do you mean by it won't happen again? He furrowed his brows, his voice trembling imperceptibly. It means that because you don't love me, my mission to win you over has failed. The system has left, and I won't try to win you over anymore. You can rest assured that from now on, I won't have any communication with you outside of work. Of course, if you're not even willing to have work-related communication, I can gradually reduce my collaboration with Smith Corporation, although I don't think it's necessary to have any issues with money. I turned around and left. So all these years, you said you liked me, but it was all just part of your mission. His voice suddenly came from behind me. I paused in my steps. He took a step closer. So you really believed that I was just an object of conquest, that there were no other feelings involved? That's not true. But when the overwhelming love dissipates, what's the point of explaining? Believe what you want. People always believe what they want to believe. For 5 years, I naively thought that my love had already permeated through those trivial acts of care, affectionate gazes, and countless persistent pursuits. Even though he knew I was a conqueror, love and sincerity could still be felt. But he chose to believe his own assumptions and turned a blind eye. Suddenly, footsteps came from behind. "Mary." Lou hurriedly approached, grabbing hold of me as if trying to hold on to something about to be lost. "But I'm not his treasure, never have been." "You've been lying to me all along, haven't you? You don't love me at all." He stared into my eyes, questioning. I knew what he wanted to hear. An answer that would prove he hadn't guessed wrong, that he hadn't made a mistake. I met his gaze. "It's all genuine," I said. "What?" He froze. "I came with the mission to win you over, but I also truly love you." "Lou, you're so adept at understanding people in the business world. Have you never noticed that my feelings for you are always genuine?" Chapter 9. When I left, Lou was still standing on the balcony, lost in thought. After exchanging pleasantries with some business partners, I was ready to head home. Zoe was waiting for me at the door. "President Jones, are we going back now?" "Yes." "What about President Smith?" "No need to wait." Whether it was attending events together or participating in meetings, I would always wait for Lou. He couldn't handle alcohol well, but in the business world, it was impossible to avoid drinking. Every time, I wouldn't feel at ease until I saw his assistant helping him into the car. "But," Zoe whispered, reminding me, "President Smith seems to have been watching you the whole time." I paused and turned around. Lou had somehow made his way to the entrance of the lobby and was standing not far away. Ginny, who was by his side, seemed to be saying something to him with a smile, but his eyes were fixed on me. Our eyes met, and this time, it was me who looked away first. "Let's go. We won't wait anymore from now on." Chapter 10. The following days were busy for me because it was my grandfather's birthday. I organized a birthday banquet for him at home, inviting some of his friends, including old Mr. Smith from the Smith family. Unexpectedly, Lou also showed up. He was wearing a nice tie, and it took me a while to remember that it was a birthday gift I had given him one year. I had designed the pattern myself. But he had never worn it before. During dinner, I personally served each of the elders a bowl of handmade noodles. Grandfather Chen looked at me and couldn't help but sigh. "Oh, why don't I have a granddaughter like Mary? These noodles are so delicious. She's not only beautiful but also capable of managing a company and cooking. Old Jones, how can you have such a wonderful granddaughter?" "You're out of luck," grandfather chuckled. "It's all in the genes." Everyone burst into laughter, and the other grandfather glanced at Lou, who was quietly sitting beside me, and teased, "Mary is not young anymore. When do you plan to get married?" In the past, on occasions like this, elders would often make such jokes about me and Lou. It was obvious to everyone that I liked him. But he never responded. I stood up, smiling, and poured a drink for this grandfather. "I'm still single. If you happen to know someone suitable, please introduce them to me. If it works out and we get married, I'll give you a big red envelope." Cheers. The glass in front of Lou spilled. I hurriedly wiped the table and the stain on his shirt with my hands. "I'll take care of the tie myself." "Thank you," he said softly. "Lou, how about you? Should grandfather also introduce someone to you?" Lou paused as he wiped his tie. I don't need that, thank you, grandfather." Chapter 11. The old men present, including my grandfather, were all astute individuals. After eating for a while, my grandfather suddenly asked Old Smith if he wanted to play a game of chess with him. Naturally, Old Smith accepted the challenge, and the other grandfathers expressed their desire to watch. At the dining table, only Lou and I remained. To be honest, in the past, I would have been ecstatic about having this opportunity to be alone with him. I would have racked my brain to come up with fresh and interesting topics to talk about with him. But now, I had no desire to speak. The other side of the hall was bustling with activity, people playing chess, watching the game, and offering guidance. On our side, apart from the sounds of our utensils, there was no other noise. "You made the noodles?" he suddenly asked. "Yes." "Making handmade noodles requires skill." "Yes." "Who taught you?" I put down my bowl. If you don't find them tasty, you don't have to eat them. He froze. That's not what I meant. I'm full. I stood up and went to the third-floor terrace. Grandfather enjoyed lively environments, so I had prepared fireworks on the terrace for today. To my surprise, he followed me up. Let me help. Everything is already set up. Just wait downstairs to watch. But he still didn't leave. Is there something else? I went to the mall yesterday and happened to see a pair of earrings that would suit you. You must be mistaken. Today is my grandfather's birthday, not mine. Silence filled the air once again. Just as I finished checking everything and was about to go downstairs, he suddenly spoke again. That night, I heard everything. Your conversation with that system. I couldn't bear being deceived, so I left early the next morning. You didn't hear everything, I said. What? He was bewildered. Actually, that night, I said more after that. After making sure he was asleep, I sneaked into another room and quietly asked the system another question. I asked the system if I could choose to stay in this world if I successfully completed the conquest. I looked up at the pitch-black night sky. I said that I couldn't bear to leave you, that I wanted to be with you forever. That night, I was so happy, not only because our relationship had grown closer, but also because the system eventually agreed to help me apply to stay by your side, in this world, after a successful conquest. Perhaps, after all, I stayed in this world. But there was no longer any connection with Lou. Chapter 12. After saying that, I turned and went downstairs. Lou hesitated for a moment before following me. Mary. He called out. Miss, Ginny from the front desk said she's looking for you, the maid said at the staircase. What could she want? Confused, I went outside and saw Ginny standing timidly at the villa gate, holding a gift box in her hands. Lou, equally puzzled, joined me and asked, What are you doing here? I heard that old Jones was celebrating his birthday, so I prepared a small gift. Her eyes welled up with tears. You won't dislike it, will you? I remained silent. I clearly told her not to appear in front of me anymore. Mary, can you come here for a moment? She asked cautiously. I took a couple of steps forward. She suddenly leaned closer to my ear. Mary, I'm at a critical stage in the conquest. Can you act along with me? She whispered. With that, she grabbed my hand and threw the gift she was holding herself, taking a few steps back and falling to the ground. Mary. Tears streamed down her face. Meanwhile, I had my back turned to Lou, so he couldn't see what I was doing with my hand. I suddenly understood Ginny's intention and let out a sigh. As expected, Lou quickly walked over. What's going on? He asked, furrowing his brows. Lou. She maintained her fallen posture, tears glistening in her eyes. I just wanted to give the gift to Mary, but you weren't invited, and you shouldn't have come in the first place, Lou said coldly. What? What? Her eyes widened, seemingly unable to comprehend why the situation didn't unfold as she had imagined. But this outcome was already anticipated. The Lou I knew wouldn't be swayed by such petty tricks. Perhaps he had been indifferent to me before, but he wasn't the brainless domineering CEO from a novel. If he couldn't see through such a simple scheme, the Smith family would have been completely defeated by him long ago. Ginny's plan to use me as a risky move went wrong. In the end, Lou called the villa manager and the security escorted Ginny out. After the surroundings returned to quiet, Lou turned to me and apologized. Today is my grandfather's birthday, I sighed. With your girlfriend causing such a scene, if it had been captured by the media, I would kindly ask President Smith to address and resolve the situation, wouldn't you? Lou furrowed his brows. She's not my girlfriend. Suddenly, he stood in front of me. Mary, it's you that I like. I was stunned, inexplicably looking at him. He took my hand. Lou's hands were beautiful. How many times in the past had I hoped that such beautiful hands would willingly hold mine? I've thought it through. It's you that I like. Before, I just thought you had ulterior motives in getting close to me. I didn't want to fall for someone who was only using me to complete a conquest mission. I don't want to invest my emotions and receive deception in return, that's why Lou, I once heard a saying, I interrupted him. Love is about acceptance. If you truly love someone, you won't care about keeping track of the efforts and rewards in love. I gently let go of his hand. Lou, you don't love me. You only love yourself, not wanting to get hurt. Chapter 13. After the fireworks display and seeing off all the guests, I returned to the villa. These old men, they eat so little, the maid said while tidying up. Getting old, their appetites have decreased. She suddenly chuckled. Except for young Master Smith, he eats a lot. Not even a single noodle left. I smiled and went upstairs to find my grandfather. He was in his study, waving excitedly at me. Mary, come here. I'm analyzing the chess game I played with old Mr. Smith just now. Look at this move, how can I survive? I walked over and sat across from him, thinking for a moment before placing a stone on the board. Brilliant. Grandfather clapped his hands and laughed. Truly brilliant. Your Go skills are still the ones I taught you. The student surpasses the master, he said emotionally. You taught me well. Have you been having some conflicts with that boy from the Smith family recently? He casually asked. I fell silent for a moment. Grandfather. Yes. I don't like him anymore. Grandfather held a chess piece, his gaze sharp. You liked him for 5 years, and now you suddenly say you don't like him? Yes, I lowered my head. Do you think I'm too stubborn? The air grew quiet, and he suddenly put down the chess piece, straightening his back. Granddaughter, in this world, what kind of person has the right to be stubborn? I looked up, puzzled. At the age of 20-something, she took over a conglomerate, and within a few years, she doubled its size, achieving accomplishments that her grandfather couldn't achieve in half a lifetime. Do you think someone like that has the right to be stubborn? Grandfather. I stared at him in disbelief. He smiled, leaned forward, and patted my head. You, my dear, are not stubborn enough. If you could be more stubborn, I would be overjoyed. Tears finally welled up in my eyes, and I approached him, hugging his neck like a child. Thank you, grandfather. Silly girl, he sighed. In this world, besides love, there are so many good things. Chapter 14. After my grandfather's birthday, I immersed myself in busy work once again. On this day, I was working in my office when the door suddenly opened. Driver Max, accompanied by 10 handsome men standing at 185 centimeters tall, walked in. Miss, this is the gift your grandfather sent you. I took the box inexplicably and opened it. Inside was a note with my grandfather's handwriting. Granddaughter, enjoy to the fullest. You deserve it. I almost spit out my tea. Looking at the 10 handsome men in front of me, I pinched my brow. Well, how about this? You can go to the office area outside and help deliver desserts to the company employees. Max leaned in and said, it was a specific instruction from the old master. You must keep at least one. I didn't know what to say. Fine. So, I randomly pointed at one person and had him stay in the office. Behind my office was a small private gym, and I couldn't stand having the handsome men staring at me in the office, so I took them to the gym. Just choose the workout you like. While I happily ran on the treadmill, the handsome man next to me suddenly stopped. He seemed nervous. President Jones, there seems to be a weirdo in the building across. Huh? The handsome man walked over and pointed, look, that person over there has been staring at us for a while. I glanced over. Lou was standing in the office of the building across, holding a teacup, his gaze fixed on this direction. The handsome man trembled. President Jones, could he be a peeping Tom? Maybe, I said calmly, let's close the blinds. Okay. The handsome man happily went to pull the blinds but accidentally tripped and bumped into me. Seeing that I wasn't steady, he quickly turned around to support me. This position might have looked a bit like we were about to kiss from the opposite side. And with a whoosh, the blinds were closed. Chapter 15. At the end of the workday, the 10 handsome men bid me farewell one by one. My eyebrow twitched, thinking that I definitely needed to talk to my mischievous partner at home tonight. I couldn't let them come again tomorrow. After all, the entire afternoon felt like no female employee was in a working state. As I walked to the secretary's office, Zoe was still there. "Why haven't you left yet?" I casually asked. She looked troubled, because Lee has to work overtime today. Lee? Lee from the Smith family? What does his overtime have to do with you? He's my boyfriend. President Jones. I guess Zoe realized what she said and quickly stood up, looking like she was about to cry. We're not. It's okay, I was surprised, but I had no intention of interfering. That's great, actually. Love is freedom. Don't worry about any concerns you might have because of me. No wonder Zoe knew all the gossip about the Smiths. Actually, we got closer while helping you and President Smith with messages and delivering meals. She seemed a bit embarrassed. By the way, President Jones, did you know? President Smith got injured. President Smith doesn't know what happened, but he cut his hand on broken teacup fragments in the afternoon. Lee is taking him to the hospital for bandaging, so he hasn't left work yet. Oh. You don't seem to care much. She touched her head. Yeah, I smiled. So, you don't need to tell me anything about President Smith's matters from now on. Chapter 16. The next day, in the lobby of the company, I saw Lou. His right hand was still wrapped in gauze. "Can you give me some time?" he whispered. "Lou," I sighed, "if it's work-related, let someone else handle it." "It's not work-related," he interrupted me. "Please, Mary, just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes." I furrowed my brow and looked at him. He reached out and held my hand. "Mary, if you're concerned about Ginny, because she's upset, I've already talked to her. I admit that I initially intended to provoke you by making her jealous. I disliked being controlled by you all the time. I wanted to allow myself to like someone else, to try and like someone who genuinely cares about me. But I realized that I couldn't do it. What you said before was right, love shouldn't be about keeping score. Now, I've come to realize that I can't stand having someone else by your side." He softened his voice. "Please don't be angry, okay?" "Lou, you've misunderstood," I said calmly. "Our relationship has nothing to do with other people, and I'm not angry with you. I just don't love you anymore. And you, perhaps you haven't distinguished between possessiveness and love." For the past 5 years, he kept his resentment hidden, never willing to admit his feelings for me but never blocking me either. He accepted my kindness but always pushed me away, yet always left me with a glimmer of hope, hoping that maybe this time, the next time, he would turn back and look at me. "You're just unwilling to let go of what was originally yours." "No, that's not true," he looked pained, vigorously shaking his head. "I truly love you." As we were caught in this struggle, I suddenly saw Ginny. She stood outside the door like a ghost. Our eyes met, and she forced a smile, walking in. Lou followed my gaze and turned to see her too. "Lou, why didn't you answer my calls?" She took a step forward. "Why did you arrange a meeting with the HR department to discuss terminating my contract? Why have you been avoiding me?" "Ginny," Lou frowned, "maybe I initially created a misunderstanding, but we've already cleared things up." "What did you clear up?" She suddenly shouted, "I like you, I love you, can't you see that? When we met, you clearly said I had a lively personality, that I had a kind heart, that my voice was pleasant. You were clearly moved." Lou fell silent for a moment. "I'm sorry, you're wonderful, and I know you genuinely like me, but I just don't have feelings for you." Ginny looked at him blankly, then suddenly pointed at me. "It's you, isn't it? You told him, didn't you? You said I was scheming, didn't you?" "What?" Lou was taken aback. "How could you be so malicious?" She threw the notebook I had given her. "You used me to test his sincerity, didn't you? Even though your scheme has failed, why are you still being despicable?" "You've misunderstood. I didn't tell him," I said calmly. "I'm not interested in whether your scheme with him succeeds or not." "You're lying. You didn't tell him, so why doesn't he like me?" Her gaze was filled with resentment. "You just can't stand your own failure, so you don't want me to succeed either." There was no need to reason with someone who was being irrational. Security, I turned my head, and someone immediately approached. Ginny was escorted out of the door, still shouting. Meanwhile, Lou remained frozen in place since he heard the word scheme. His hands trembled as he bent down to pick up the notebook from the ground. This is. She asked for it from me. Since she doesn't need it anymore, throw it away. But he held on to the notebook tightly, seemingly still unable to recover from the shock. You see, Lou, what you once believed, what you were so sure of, may not always be right. You never understood how to determine sincerity. And the moment of truth came earlier, and more unexpectedly, than imagined. Mary, what she said. His voice trembled. It's all true. I looked directly into his eyes and said calmly. Both Ginny and I were schemers. Chapter 17. After that, Lou started becoming attentive. Flowers during holidays, lunch on my desk, daily caring messages, occasional small gifts. I heard that he started learning how to cook. Everything seemed to have turned around. He suddenly lowered his pride and said he would do everything I had done before for me. But I remained unaffected. Months passed, and I barely paid him any attention besides work, yet he persisted. On this day, when I finished work, a fine drizzle fell from the sky. As I walked out of the company building, I noticed him standing at the entrance as usual, waiting for me. This time, I didn't ignore him. Instead, I walked up to him. Let's take a walk together. His eyes lit up. Sure. The two of us didn't use an umbrella as we walked around the street corner. Do you remember where we first met? He froze. It was at that cafe on the street corner. That day, I was so excited because turning 22 in this world meant I would finally find out who my target was. And then I saw you. Love at first sight, a moment that would last forever. Later, the system told me that you were my target. You have no idea how happy I was in that moment. To have the person I instantly liked turn out to be my target, where else in the world could I find something luckier than that? Mary. He hesitantly reached out his hand. I moved away, smiling at him. Lou, this has always been a secret that I've kept in my heart, a secret belonging to my fluttering heart. When I first started targeting you, before going to sleep at night, I often wondered how I would tell you about this secret on our wedding night. I would gently kiss you, playfully tease you, and wait for you to ask me before whispering it into your ear. Husband, I actually have a system that made me target you, but do you know? Even before the system told me to target you, I had already fallen for you. But I never expected that the night I had imagined. I waited for 5 years and it never came. Mary, he grabbed my hand, his eyes welling up. I'll never make you wait again, You've misunderstood me. I shook my head, interrupting him. The reason I can calmly talk about these things now is because I've truly let go. That passion that filled me for those 5 years, the love I had for you, it's long gone. Lou, let's end it where it all began. Chapter 18. Lou froze. After a moment, he shook his head. Mary, I won't let go. I love you. I know I realized my love for you too late, but it's never too late to make amends. Mary, I will be even better to you. From now on, I'll be by your side, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, I'll be there with you. It's too late. It's not too late. He tightly held my hand. Isn't now the best time? You no longer have the pressure of the game, and I have found clarity in my own heart. Give me a chance, let's be good from now on, okay? At that moment, a cold laugh suddenly came from nearby. You two can be good, but what about me? I turned around, and to my surprise, it was Ginny, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. Lou, I've done so much for you these past few months. Why did you turn a blind eye? How could you be so heartless, so cruel? Do you know what I'll face if my game fails? Why don't you like me? How can you not like me? Mary. Suddenly, the voice of the system echoed in my mind. The system. I froze. You're back? Be careful of the rival across from you. Headquarters warns that her mental state has reached a critical level, and she could be dangerous. Before I could respond, Ginny had already taken out a knife, her face pale, and a terrifying smile on her face. Why is it that Mary can fail her game and walk away unscathed? Why am I the one who has to be erased? System. Where are you? Come out, she shouted, holding the knife. Mary cheated. Why is she allowed to live? She failed just like me. The system on the opposite side seemed to say something. I don't want to. I don't want to. She screamed hysterically, suddenly charging towards me with the knife. Watch out. Lou immediately stood in front of me, but I pushed him aside, turned around, disarmed Ginny, and restrained her on the ground with a palm strike. What? She looked back in disbelief, her eyes unfocused. How is this possible? My grandfather was afraid of me getting kidnapped, so he had me learn self-defense since I was young. Dealing with you was a bit too easy. Lou also looked surprised, staring at me in a daze. I let go of Ginny, and she sat on the ground. I've told you before, the people in this world are not NPCs in your game. No matter who you want to conquer, you must first understand the other person. And you didn't understand me, yet you dared to draw a knife against me? It's impossible, it's impossible. She muttered to herself, then suddenly started crying. Please, system, give me another chance. I can do it, please, don't. Is it time? Isn't there still time? I'll make him fall in love with me, he'll love me right away. I almost killed Mary just now. If I killed her, Lou would love me. If all else fails, I'll just drug him. I can do it. Please. In the distance, the clock tower chimed, signaling noon. Her voice abruptly stopped. Ginny, erased. Chapter 19. The doctor and the police arrived quickly. Ginny's cause of death was diagnosed as sudden cardiac arrest. Her chosen path in the game was different from mine. I chose to grow up in this world from a young age, waiting for missions to come, while she chose to enter a world halfway, directly accepting a preformed identity and completing missions. She had no family or friends here. The scene was quickly cleaned up. System, will she have another chance in another world? I asked softly. The system sighed. She previously signed a contract for a quick game mission. The desired rewards were not only a healthy body in the original world but also endless wealth. The more she wanted, the heavier the corresponding punishment for failure. If her system doesn't follow the rules and erase her, it will be considered a mistake, which will affect promotions and salary raises in the future. If her system pleads for her, the best outcome would probably be returning to the original world. But even in her original world, she wouldn't have lived much longer. I sighed. Why? Did it end up like this? Lou asked in a daze. Is she really dead? The game rules state that if you fail to complete the conquest mission, you will be erased, I replied. But you're fine. That's because my system made a special request for me. If it weren't for it, I would have died on the day you met Ginny. This was always a cruel game. A game where lives were gambled. We, the people struggling to survive in the original world, came here with our own goals, and naturally, we had to abide by and accept the game rules. But I was lucky to have glimpsed a trace of tenderness in this cold game. How could this happen? Lou murmured, how could this happen? How is it possible for her to really die? I don't know. He raised his hand, trembling slightly. Mary, I really don't know. You don't know, I turned my head, avoiding his hand. But over the past 5 years, you had countless opportunities to ask me, and I had countless times when I wanted to confide in you, but every time you coldly pushed me away. How many times did he look away when I turned back? How many times did he turn away when I tried to embrace him? The fear of death when unable to complete a mission and the pain and emptiness of not receiving love from within. How I wished he could just hold me, even without comforting words. Just listening to me speak would have been enough. But he never gave me a chance to speak. Enough is enough. He approached, grabbing my hand, his voice trembling. Mary, it's my fault. I was arrogant, trying to test your sincerity. I was a jerk, not cherishing your love. I was insecure and proud, unwilling to believe that you truly liked me, yet unwilling to let go of my ego and actively pursue you. You gave me your most precious love, even almost sacrificing your life. Mary, his eyes turned red, his tone pleading, give me another chance, please? I shook my head. It's already over. No, it's not over. The conquest mission may be over, but your heart still loves me, doesn't it? He stubbornly held onto my hand, clasping our fingers tightly. You haven't left this world, isn't that fate? I love you, this time I'll chase after you, we can start over. I shook my head. In this world, not all broken mirrors can be mended. After all these days, haven't you understood? I took a step back gently. I indeed haven't left this world. But I want to leave you. Since that night, from the moment I lay in bed waiting to die, I stopped loving you. In this world, besides love, there are many people and things worth loving. Family, friends, career, oneself. I love you, his eyes filled with tears. Mary, I truly love you. One by one, I separated Lou's hand from mine. Lou, your love came too late. Chapter 20. After that, in order to make Lou give up on me, I still blocked him. Grandpa arranged 4 1.9-meter bodyguards for me, making it impossible for Lou to get close to me. After a while, Grandpa told me that Lou had resigned as the CEO of Smith Corporation and handed the company over to his younger brother. He left the city. Lee said that President Smith went to find the system, Zoe said. The system? He said that there is a system in this world, and if you can find that system, you might be able to find a way to be reborn or go back in time. Upon hearing this, I felt a sense of melancholy. What's the use of that? Instead of thinking about living another life, it's better to cherish the people who will be by his side in the future. Maybe he also knows that in this lifetime, he won't find someone as good to him as President Jones was to him, Zoe sighed. Zoe and Lee are getting married. I gave her some time off for the wedding and also took a day off for myself. My system here helped me handle some matters left behind by Ginny's system. Now that it's time to leave, I want to say goodbye. Holding a beer, I drove to the beach and sat on the rocks. System, I called out to it. Yes. I've been thinking about a question these past few days. Go ahead, ask. Why does Ginny's mission deadline only last for 1 year, while mine lasts for 5 years? Well, it stuttered. I smiled. In theory, even though we chose different paths, the mission deadlines should be the same. Actually, before, you made a special request for me every year, didn't you? It fell silent, seeming a bit embarrassed. What did you exchange for these 5 years? Just my performance bonus. As expected. Do you ever regret it? I chuckled. After all, spending 5 years with someone as foolish as me must have had a significant impact on your career, right? No response. System. Mary. Its voice sounded unusually serious. I have never regretted it because I have always believed that people who live with sincerity should be treated kindly by the world. I was stunned. The sunset fell on the horizon, and seagulls flew in flocks. Somehow, the corners of my eyes felt a bit sore. Thank you. You truly are a gentle system. It smiled. Oh, no. Performance or anything like that doesn't matter. What's important is finding joy in your work. I'm happy to have worked alongside you. And Mary, you are not foolish at all. People who give their wholehearted effort should never be trampled upon or mocked. I sniffled. Can I occasionally see you and chat with you in the future? I'm afraid not. Its voice carried a hint of melancholy. There won't be any more players in this world after this, so after this, we probably won't meet again. I see. System, it's been 5 years, and I realize I never asked. Do you have a name? We don't have names, only codes. My code is actually quite auspicious. It's Illy, it sighed. Unfortunately, it didn't bring you any good fortune in love. I shook my head. What I gained here far surpasses the significance of love. Thank you, Ellie, I whispered, raising my cup towards the distance. The system paused for a moment, then smiled. I really like the name Ellie. Goodbye. Goodbye. The evening breeze blew, and I knew Ellie had departed. Turning back, on the other side of the coast, there was a sea of roses blooming. Every flower swayed gracefully. I stood up and walked towards the sea of flowers. In the end, I stayed in this world without any more players, a world full of unknown wonders. I believe that people who live diligently won't have such bad luck. I believe that I will live my days in a brilliant and colorful way. I also believe that one day, not too far in the future, I will be moved again and fall in love with someone deserving. I will boldly and firmly step onto the flower path that leads to the future.